Welcome to BizTech Startup Show, the show where we feature startup companies operating across the Asia Pacific region, talking about their solutions and how they make a difference. Today, we speak to Luke Taylor, the founder and chief operating officer at Trafficguard. Trafficguard.ai is a comprehensive ad verification, measurement, and fraud protection for brands, apps, agencies, and ad networks. Now, I'm going to let Luke tell us more about Trafficguard. Welcome to the show, Luke.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. There's a lot of potential customers there that we can assist, but I think that's the core of it is ad measurement verification. Fraud is a component of that, and really we help all of those stakeholders, so advertisers, anybody really in the advertising supply chain, protect their budget and unlock better potential in their advertising campaigns.
Okay, now could you give me a quick primer into ad fraud detection and its dangers?
Sure. So, like advertising is a huge market, as I'm sure like you and your audience will be aware. Like Google, the Facebooks of the world have made billions of dollars in online advertising. And so there's a lot of potential there for bad actors, fraudsters to make a lot of money. Recent studies actually said that ad fraud was far more lucrative than many other like major crimes, right? So, drug syndicates, like ad fraud is the way to go. Far less risk, far less chances of dying and far more money to be made.
And so that's really, really interesting. Could you give us an idea of some of the fraud types that marketers should be aware of today?
Yeah, so like anything that's really trying to take that budget away. So, really two main areas have been the target of ad fraud, where marketers are paying on a CPM or a CPC basis. So they're paying for some sort of engagement. So it's creating fake engagements. So imagine, somebody wants to sell a spot with a banner ad. They generate more audience, like bot audience, because they get paid for every time somebody sees that ad.
Yes.
Or it could be that if it's based on some performance outcome, like installing an application or generating a sale, that they're faking that they were the cause of that outcome, right? So that's called misattribution or fake attribution. So, they're targeting basically that budget so that they can steal those dollars away.
Okay, interesting. Now, tell us about the idea behind Trafficguard and how you evolved this, because you have a very interesting background. You are a serial entrepreneur. You've had over 18 years of experience in various things in digital marketing and mobile technology. Walk us through your entrepreneurial journey, especially, and you've done all of this out of Perth, which is not exactly the technological hotbed of the world or a capital city.
Yeah, hopefully we can change that. But, it's, I guess it's like many other stories, right? Like you start doing something, you find something that you don't mind doing. You try a little harder to make that into something that you like doing. That knowledge progresses with you. So, as you said, like 25 years of experience in marketing, got to touch a lot of things, see really how the industry works, had an opportunity and launched our own advertising network. And that's really where, the need, the recognition that there was a problem that needed solving and wasn't being solved by anybody currently, came from. Like we experienced ad fraud throughout the network and we needed to solve it so that we could service our customers. Like as a technology-led business, we found a lot of our time invested into solving this problem of first identifying ad fraud and then of mitigating. And so, for maybe 3 years, we were running Trafficguard internally across our own platform. And it got to the point where like our customers were more interested in the solution than, our advertising. And so, spin it out and on to the next thing. Go back to $0 and hopefully get this one to tens of millions, hundreds of millions in revenue.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your solution specifically and how they help customers.
So I guess for our solve, the main components is that it works in performance, and it's a real-time solution in its detection and prevention. So lots of solutions, if you can call them that, like how most people are trying to solve this problem is retrospectively. So think it like an accounting exercise. Somebody says that they sent you X amount of impressions, you wait to the end of the month, you do some reconciliation, and you just kind of put lines through how much you're going to pay. It doesn't really scale. There's no way of improving the advertising in that process. And so like our method really looks at all of those transactions in real time and then prevents the invalid traffic. So it allows you to scale the quality traffic in your advertising campaign and solve problems early on so that marketers can get back to doing what they do well, which is marketing.
And so I can see that all the dollars that are saved because this is real time, it is not looking at stuff retroactively. You're looking at stuff real time and preventing and tweaking exactly. So before the dollars are spent.
Yeah. So it's like water filter, right? Like you don't want to filter it when it's already in the bucket. You want to filter it before. It's a lot harder once it's already gone through. Now your lawyers have got to get involved, try and claw money back. So yeah, definitely prevention early on is the way to go.
Okay, one of the things that's happening right now is basically that blocking of cookies is going to become reality pretty soon. I think it's going to be happening 2023. What does this mean for marketers, brands, and also essentially the whole ecosystem? Because that's a key component of the digital advertising ecosystem, isn't it?
Yeah, so I guess, kind of two things, right? So the delay is a reprieve for lots of people that are just going to be obsolete, right? So lots of ad tech out there uses like tracking and retargeting. And so without those cookies there, like it's going to be very hard for them to stay in business. So, this is giving them a bit of extra life. And for other businesses, like it's a chance to start looking at how they're going to do business in this new privacy-first landscape. Like the disadvantage at the moment is that it's quite fragmented. Like while Google has this plan of what they're going to do, and it's a bit delayed, other browsers have already took action some time ago, and so there's various different ways that that different players in this space are trying to bring in that privacy component.
Okay, so look, that's one kind of disruption in the ad tech sector right now. What are the other disruptions that are happening? Because this is an interesting time for digital marketing.
Yeah, I think things that we've seen. COVID is a massive disruption, right? Really changed the behavior of consumers both offline and online. Whereas in time past there was kind of multi-device. Now the using of devices has changed. Like people are working from home, so kind of the overlap of when they're shopping and when they're not has changed. The more people are online now to purchase. So early on in COVID, budgets for marketing shrunk, but now they've realized that there's lots more people there that want to use online, and so advertising budgets are increasing for products that are performance based.
Now, in an Australian context, correct me if I'm wrong, but digital marketing is about 70% of marketing spend. Versus, so that mirrors kind of the mature markets like Europe and the US, whereas in Asia, that's 20 to 30% only, depending on which market it is. What's your view on this, and what are you seeing in 2022?
Yeah, I think that's going to see change, right? If less people are out of home, then out of home advertising is going to decrease in footfall, and so moving it to digital, and also like the disruption with digital TV channels and subscription services changing the habit of people watching like linear broadcast television. And so, those spends are constantly getting disrupted at the moment.
And also because, and just to highlight that, a platform like BizTech, we are riding a wave of 400 million people watching streaming services in Asia Pacific every day. And that's growing at 19.1% in the Asia Pacific region.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, how will, because that's obviously an unstoppable trend, how will then marketers using technology like yourself, like Trafficguard, make sure that they get better bang for their buck?
Well, the basic premise of what we're doing is finding, the real users, right? So removing the bot or the fake traffic. So if you want to engage a person that's going to buy, like they need to be a real person. So I think, at its core, that's what we're helping optimize, is making sure that every dollar you spend is actually going to a real opportunity rather than, a fake one.
Now, looking ahead now at 2022, this year, what are some key trends that you see that will disrupt not only the Australian market, but also the Asia Pacific market as a whole?
In advertising or in ad fraud?
In ad fraud as well as advertising.
Yeah. I think in ad fraud, unfortunately, the fraudsters don't have to be very sophisticated. The same techniques are still working that have been around for a long time. Like it's not unlike people still falling for the Nigerian prince scam. Like every day there's a new person in marketing that doesn't know about this, that's unaware, that doesn't have the tools to fight it off. And so, it's a constant challenge. And I see, as more spend moves to digital, that problem's only going to increase, and that's an improvement for obviously solutions like ours to tackle that problem head on. I think for advertising, I think it's going to be led by those trends of consumers. So, as consumers start moving across these devices, like out of the traditional media spaces, then, you're going to see the advertising trends move with them.
So Luke, what's on the pipeline for Trafficguard in 2022?
I think we're just at that kind of inflection point for major scale. So we've been operating kind of under the radar for the last couple of years, really perfecting the product and working with some key early clients through here. But now it's about scale. So we're just ramping up our sales team globally. And hitting this as hard as we can.
And how is that happening? Do you have boots on the ground, or is this a virtual strategy?
Yeah, so we've got some boots on the ground in various countries. We've got Singapore, UK, and South America as our primary kind of targets at the moment. But everything can be done virtually now. So why it pays to have people in various time zones and speaking various languages. Virtual communication is definitely a lot easier in these COVID times.
Absolutely. And, Luke, you've basically scaled a business before, you've taken it public. What are some of the key lessons that you've learned as an entrepreneur that you could share with other entrepreneurs?
I guess, find people that have an equal level of passion as you. It doesn't have to be in exactly the same areas. If it's tangential, then even better. But it's not a lone wolf is not the best thing here, right? It's better as a team effort, and that's very much here. Through these decades, I've brought a lot of people with me that provide a lot of support and allow us to, do this as a business. And I think, try try and find things that you enjoy, right? It's it's always good chasing the money. If it's something you enjoy doing, then it makes that strain on your family life and late hours of the night a little better.
Look, it's been a fascinating conversation speaking to you. But before you leave us, any final thoughts you'd like to share with us?
No, I think the premise here for what we do is that really we need to get the message out there. Like all of those new marketers, like ad fraud is affecting you, and this is a problem that you need to look to solve.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Luke, for taking your time to be on the show.
Thanks very much.
Now, I'm Brian Fernandez, and we've been speaking to Luke Taylor, founder and chief operating officer of Trafficguard on BizTech Startup Show. This video and podcast will be on our various social media platforms, as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. Please like and subscribe to our various platforms. Thank you very much for tuning in.